My name is Adam Comer, and I'm a pastor and the Chief Executive Officer of S2L Recovery. I'd like to have a few minutes of your time to tell you a story about the goodness of the Lord. But first, let me share a stat with you. In the United States of America, the number one cause of death for people 18 to 50 years old is drug overdose. And that's where the story begins. I'd like to introduce you to Ryan Chittister.
Long story short, in 2017, I overdosed in a friend's backyard and woke up in a hospital with a doctor telling me I should be dead. I remember pondering the meaning of life the next few days, like there's got to be something more to life than me squandering everything I've ever loved and then dying. A week later, I was headed to S2L. When I arrived, I remember seeing the staff and noticing there was something different about these guys. This guy had a confidence that I couldn't explain, and this guy had a joy about his Lord that I desired. When I gave my life to the Lord, I knew three things from that day forward. I knew that God loved me, I knew that freedom from addiction was possible, and I knew that I had been forgiven from my sins. It's incredible to look back and see what God's done in my life since then. I was once a low-life addict, lying, cheating, deceiving everyone around me, to becoming a residential leader of the very program that I went through. I went on to become the facility director of that program, and I even graduated with a degree in ministry leadership from Williamson College. I was once a dead man walking, and now the Lord gave me purpose.
Now, as you begin to see this story, this beautiful story of the goodness of God take place, most, if not all of you know that when someone battles an addiction, they don't do it alone. Their family suffers.
I would love to say something to the people most affected by my addiction. Mom and Dad, when I look back at where I was caught in addiction and lost in so many ways, it's hard to recognize the man I was. But you never gave up on me. You spoke life over me when I wanted to die. I vividly remember the tough moments, the calls, the visits, the conversations, and the way you'd look at me with such love and concern. You stood by me through every relapse, every setback, every mistake, and every tear. Yet you didn't judge me. You simply loved and encouraged me along the way. And that love and encouragement gave me something to hold on to when I thought I had nothing. There was a time in my life when my words held no weight. And although that isn't the case today, more than a simple thank you that feels so cheap, I choose to express my gratitude by living a life that honors God and the both of you. I love you more than words can express. Thank you for your unwavering support and unconditional love. 7 years of walking in freedom. Look what God has done.
Are you starting to see the goodness of the Lord? We're almost to my favorite part of the story. But first, God called me to S2L 13 years ago, and it wasn't as a pastor, and it wasn't as the Chief Executive Officer. I came through the very program. But something that I've loved watching over these 13 years is the generational effect. When God grabs the heart of a man, generations are changed.
Ever since I gave my life to the Lord, I was called to leave a legacy behind for my family. And through His goodness and mercy, God has brought an incredible woman into my life. Nicole and I got married and are now expecting our first child, a little girl. I have the opportunity to lead my wife and train my daughter in the ways of the Lord. I wrote her this letter. My precious daughter, I want you to know before you ever take your first breath that you are loved beyond measure. God has entrusted me with the privilege of being your father, and I will do everything in my power to guide you and teach you about His love. I pray that you will come to know Jesus as your Savior and that His love will be the foundation of your life. I know that life will not always be easy and there will be challenges along the way. But I want you to remember this: God is always with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. And as your father, I also promise to be there for you, to listen when you need someone to talk to, and to offer guidance as you navigate life. I want you to know your worth, not based on what the world says, but because you are a precious daughter of the Most High King. I pray that you will be a light in this world, a reflection of Christ's love and grace. I pray that you will have courage to stand firm in your faith and always be true to who God created you to be. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. There is a plan for your life that is greater than anything we could imagine. And I trust that God will lead you toward it. Until that day, until the day we finally meet, know that you are already cherished, prayed for, and loved. I look forward to holding you, watching you grow, teaching you, protecting you, guiding you, and sharing in the beauty of life with you. I'm so incredibly thankful to be your dad. And I can't wait to see the wonderful woman you will become. With all my love and prayers, Dad.
You see what I mean? The goodness of the Lord. Man, I watch that and I just see a generation of people being effective. I see a daughter having a daddy. I see a wife having a godly man, husband. I see two parents who at one point probably were pretty hopeless, now see their son as a leader in the community. See, the sad thing is that the way that the world tells us to do addiction recovery is that Chitty, myself, I was told this, many men that come into our program when going to another place, that once you're an addict, you're always an addict. And the best life you can hope for is a life of remission. Did that look like a drug addict or an alcoholic? That looked like a man walking in freedom who loves the Lord. But there's also someone who's struggling right now. And if you're watching this, I know where you are. You might be thinking that that could never be you, that kind of love, that kind of freedom, that kind of restoration just can't happen for you. I've been there and I've thought that too. Ryan Chittister thought that as well. But I want you to know that if he could do that for me, if the Lord could do that for Ryan, I promise you that he could do it for you. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, today is the day. Don't wait another day. Call, look us up online, message us. We'd love to help you. And if we can't help, we'll find someone that can. God bless you.